And this will be our opening map as we start off in the bottom right-hand corner with the red Zerg player. This is SHIN. Gonna try and get a bit of a run today. It's been a little while since SHIN really had a bit of a deeper run in one of these events. It's been a little bit, yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen him really kind of have one of these Open Cups be kind of his playground. But maybe today is the day. That's the thing with SHIN. It feels like any day could be the day. It's just finding that consistency, finding that groove, and getting into it a little bit. As in the top left-hand corner of the map, our blue Terran player from Dragon Kaiser Gaming, we have got ourselves Oliveira in the top left-hand side. The Overlord of SHIN is already moving out across to the upper left as well, so that's going to be following over. But just a little bit here, so on the way to the upper sides as we get settled in this game number one. Obviously, Golden Aura. Interesting first map. We're going to play Golden Aura, Side Delta, and then Solaris. I was kind of thinking what the vehicles then were from the Terran player, because I did miss most of those. But I mean, I guess Equilibrium, Radu said, and then you kind of have your pick of the third map that you veto. Some people do veto Golden Aura a lot of the time. I guess he vetoes Alcyone instead. That's the cool thing about this map pool. It's definitely one of those map pools where, you know, it's one of those map pools where you have seen really a lot of variants, even in best of threes. Everyone kind of has their own maps which they like, whereas, and kind of different maps that fit their styles. So it's not always like a given, like, okay, yes, you're going to veto Radu Set and Equilibrium as the Terran, but it's not always a given what that third veto is going to be. So there is one of those map pools that has had that little bit more variety and personality to it as well, I would say. I think personality is a good way to phrase it, because it really does kind of go to the player's map picks a little bit and kind of their choices. So, yeah. As I do see a little droney moving out towards the third hatch location, where we are going to place the third hatch immediately here. There is gas to start up link speed, but we're going to prioritize the third hatch, so that means we are going to be a little slower on going into the link speed, but again, it's just a single Reaper opening. This should be absolutely fine. It's only going to be this one Reaper to harass with, although it is hunting for its first kill. But yeah, only that one Reaper. There's not too much beyond this or anything extra, as the Reaper now pulls back over. Again, the third hatch, you're going to take a little bit more of a nibble. Our Queen and Reaper will go up against one another. Little grenade, just say boppy backwards, has that Queen. So the Queen gets chased back too. And again, just link speed, Queen, a couple more drones, etc., all continuing to come on out as a few Zerglings will begin to nibble once again. The Queen is again there to just push the Reaper away back out the front. And we have ourselves the barracks, the command center, continuing into the main base. So we are going to play 3CC, but also into the additional barracks very quickly. So not going to go into the tech of the starport and to adventure into the possibilities with that. Instead, that second racks means we are going to see biocentric play. Some faster units initially, and with those faster units, definitely a possibility of getting out on the map and trying to make a little bit of something happen. A couple more overlords coming up. Our Lings will nibble their way through this set of rocks as well, so that will go down. And again, we have ourselves just the three hatches all set up. We're really waiting for the first kind of interaction beyond that Reaper, which is going to be with these Hellions, and we'll see if these Hellions can get through. There's a few moments again where link speed is not done, so you have to be in position with Queens, Lings in position to potentially surround, etc. That's something you've kind of got to somewhat aim for right now. A couple of Queens pulling back over, and I think the position is obviously fine. And as link speed finishes, it becomes so much easier to block these Hellions from really continuing to get anything else done. So the Hellions and the Reaper do back away for the moment. A couple of Marines are in position to push this Overlord back out of here, out of the main base it goes. Getting supply blocked along the way, 68 over 66. Extra OVs are building, but again, just a slight supply block, a little slowdown. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to spend some money on infrastructure, getting the Roach roaring into place. As the Hellions are poking with the idea of, you know, playing around at the front. 4 Hellions only, that means there's no Hellions at home as the Lings are coming across the map. We drop one more depot here. But there is no full wall off, so you're going to get into the natural, and there's just, well, Marines on the high ground, which is where we run to. I almost would have liked us to just go straight into the mineral line here with this amount of Lings. Like, there's not going to be nothing here for this sort of time of the game, especially after Hellions. Like, maybe if this was a 2-1-1, then yes, the Marines would be in the medevacs going across the map. But because it's Hellions first, the Marines are almost always going to be at home, so I don't know why we would try and dive the high ground. Unless you really thought there was more Hellions being made, and if there's 2 more Hellions being made and they're on the map, then maybe you dive the high ground because then there would be less Marines there, and maybe then the Lings can actually get in if Oliveira hasn't responded in time. So maybe that's the roll of the dice that SHIN played there. It's one of those moments where, you know, in a different game where, like I say, 2 more Hellions are being made and they move out, maybe that looks like the genius move. How did he know to go into the main? In this case, he doesn't get much out of it. And to be fair, how much was he going to get in the natural anyway? Maybe 1 or 2 SCVs before they pull away and the Marines come down the ramp. Maybe it wasn't so bad to test the waters into the main and go for go for it all rather than just going for the couple of workers and then backing away. It's not like he lost the Lings anyways, right? So, well, not straight away. He lost them to the Hellions coming back, but he didn't lose the Lings to them getting stuck in the base. Just to clarify what I'm actually saying. Because, yo, Mad Alien, thank you so much for the 47-month resub. But you see the investment from SHIN. He's going to play Roaches. Missile upgrades, Roach speed, a little bit of all that on the way through. The Marines do get a couple of creep teamers. Star going to grab 1 Roach as well. Nice little turnaround. I'm just going to pick that off, so thank you very much. We will take those. Another Queen coming over. Those Marines are still going to be held back. A couple medevacs overhead. And again, just pulling their way into that bottom left-hand corner, taking that watchtower for a few moments. And Marine's going to, again, just continue to move about for a little bit. There's an Overlord in the bottom left-hand side here. This Ovi is going to be in a little bit of trouble. When the Marines come into it, Overlord will die immediately. Combat shields coming up. The 1-1 upgrades are over halfway done. Missile upgrades, carapace, Roach speed. Bit of everything continuing up here as our Marines and medevacs will be out, heading towards the center. After clearing out the bottom left, again, as the upgrades finish, you can see just pure unit production. 4th base not being droned. And that means we are sending it here as SHIN. He wants to attack. He's looking for damage. This army does not scale well later into the game if you don't do serious damage and keep yourself, very ahead in unit count. And that is your advantage, right? The unit count is going to be very high for you as Oliveira sees a few units, but he's completely missed these ones coming across the map. One of the tanks, not even siege. And this may be a pretty simple run forward here for SHIN as he runs through. Corrosive Battle, the siege tank, the other units, yeah, this is a disaster. This is never going to hold. You needed to be ready for it. You needed to be aware of what was happening. Oliveira was clearly completely blind, unable to recognize what was actually taking place in this battle in this game. That's going to be GG's as SHIN takes. In the bottom right, we're leading this best of 3. 1-0 so far will be our red Zerg player. It is going to be SHIN. In the top left, our blue Terran from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It is going to be Oliveira. Well, still part of Dragon Kaiser Gaming. Actually kind of interested to see what Dragon Kaiser do for the upcoming WTL season. Obviously, mercenaries / alliances are now allowed. Will Dragon Kaiser find someone new to pick up? Will he merge or pick up a player that went to a solo team? Maybe they just keep Dark. Like maybe they say, hey Dark, you played with Dragon Kaiser for a long time. How about we partner with Talon and you play for us in World Team League? Could be a possibility. Match on the natural. 2 barracks at the front, so you're going to see a different approach from Oliveira. It's Reaper time, baby. It's Reaper time indeed. So those 2 barracks both starting up at the front. First Reaper is going to be on the way. Hatch, pool, then the gas. So again, that later gas, SHIN not prioritizing that immediately, not looking to give himself the fastest possible speed. Kofi just chilling in the center. Again, the extra racks is about to finish. Couple queens, couple lings. Reaper's on the way. And you see our Reaper starting to head out to the bottom right. So away we go, Mr. Reaper, on a little bit of a journey here. A couple of Reapers, the CC all coming through as we do have our Queens on the way up, a couple of drones coming by as well. And this is going to be the Reaper getting down into this natural. Gonna start dropping a couple of grenades in on the drones. Queen pops out, pushes the Reaper back away again. I mean, so far so good. Things looking pretty reasonable here as our Reaper goes back over. He's going to fight against these Zerglings for a couple of moments, and Lings will take some shots. Just going to back away, just going to be seeing ourselves. The Ling speed coming up, the Queen's on the way out as well. Reapers hop into the main base, just going to go and try and find something. It's a bit of a commitment, right? I mean, you're diving through. One Reaper's already very hurt at the start. We got ourselves a drone here. We may get ourselves a second. I feel like we need a second to make this worthwhile, because you've given up 2 of your Reapers so soon. Now, don't get me wrong, this is no third hatchery, so you are kind of benefiting from the lack of a third, but every Reaper going down, hard to be in love with this play. I feel like SHIN is like, okay, cool, the Reapers are all gone, your early investment has just disappeared, map control is mine, I can spread creep freely, my third hatchery can now go down free. Like, he loves this scenario. Like, oh no, my third hatch had to come down 20 seconds later, but you kill 3 Reapers, 150 minerals, 150 gas just gone. Like I say, hard to be in love with that from Oliveira's point of view. Maybe a second drone would have sweetened the deal, or probably even 3 to really sweeten the deal. I mean, that was just a rough way to kind of go, because now you have 0 map control. You know, now you've got 0 way of seeing what's up on the map. Your opponent can just do as they wish for a little while. There's going to be this stim time, which I'm actually a little concerned about maybe for SHIN, because he does not have Ling speed. He's choosing to go lair Roach Roaring. Just needs to make sure he gets enough Roaches up that the first stim timing doesn't overwhelm. There's a very fine balance of enough Roaches versus not enough Roaches. 2 Roaches sometimes can be that difference of like, oh, this Roach army is not going anywhere, versus this Roach army is never going to kill a thing. So I guess we will see as our third hatch will finish up shortly. And hey, Captain Hat, thank you so much. 4 years, 48 months. Thank you so much for the 4-year resubscription. Welcome back. Thank you for supporting StarCraft and the channel. I appreciate it, obviously. Let's get back at it. A few more Marines coming through here. The stim pack about to be done, so it is Oliveira's time to shine. Vex pop out, they will go and load up those Marines, and obviously they've used that boost to get to the natural already, so it'll take a moment or so longer to get across the map. There are 7 Roaches in production, so that will be important. As those Medivacs continue to fly all the way down the bottom. This Overseer are going to fly in as well toward the main base. Orbital Command is going to come through. And our Marines will just head into this main in the next couple of moments. So come a couple of Marines going to go chasing the Overseer around. Marines dropping off right now. You have Lings and Roach is going to start to fight. Marines are going to be getting picked away at as well. You know, those Marines getting picked up, chased away for now. Again, 1 upgrades, combat shield, all coming through as well. So a bit of everything on the way up. And especially with that Roach speed coming through, it'll be quite nice as our Medivacs fly over. The Queen going to be there to fire away already. And again, 1 upgrades, combat shield, bit of everything on the way from Oliveira as he readies himself for the next stage of this. Marines will just sit out the front then. I mean, we lost a few Marines here. We killed a Roach. We're going to try and skirmish again, but there's just too much Roach Ravager, and that is, you know, SHIN doing his due diligence. But also him just committing to an attack. And this is seen now by Oliveira. He sees these Roaches coming, and he will know this may not be a situation where you try and hold the third. In fact, I would say there's barely any saturation on this third. You just let this go. The last thing you want to do is to hold on to little advantages. The third right now is a very little minor advantage. Just let it go, lift it up. You may lose 2 SCVs here, and even that's because you kept rallying over when you kind of knew this was going to happen anyway. So not really a lot of losses as SHIN supply blocked. They start moving up this ramp, and the position is so important because having to spend time against the barracks and the wall off gives you time for these tanks to connect. Then they've got Liberators out as well, and this becomes a very tough situation for SHIN to push into. Now SHIN, realizing this, begins his tech up. Infestation Pit, a few drones are on the way. I see a lot more drones on the way. The Liberators were stacked though, so we get the double kill off the Corrosive Biles. Oh. Well, that's the Roach Ravager. just going to go back down to the bottom right. We do see our +2 carapace on the way. The hive is coming up. Going to get ourselves a few tumors going down, as we do see the medevacs on the far right side going to drop off. Looking for a cancel on the 4th base. Like I said, SHIN did give up a lot to do this attack previously, as we do see this wolf going down. And has an orbital float here, another CC finish. He's ready to play 4 bases, so SHIN's position is actually very, Oliveira's position is very good. Where SHIN is committed to the attack, Oliveira's gone all out economy, has taken no damage. Now SHIN has to try and get his own drone count back up, add an Infestors on to move that tech line further along for himself as well. Once Ravager shows up, he's going to hit that CC for a couple of moments. Rest of this army going to collect together, and a couple of medevacs will begin to go back out down to the south. So away we had 2 medevacs, bunch of marines. That's coming up. The extra overlord's on the way. Well, link speed about to be done. As the Ultraless Cavern starts on the side of SHIN as well, so we get that Ultra Cavern on the way through just for the moment. Marines unloading. Now she do eat a bile there. Oh, fungal growth going to make this a difficult getaway. Another fungal. That's a dead medevac full of units. No, the fungal growth. No, it doesn't kill it. Oh, that's a shame. 4 HP just getting out. Well, that's a big deal because an extra 10 supply lost there could be the difference. Now you still at least have some pressure out on the map, otherwise you would have had nothing at all. SHIN is really rapidly approaching being maxed out. Oliveira having sped it up towards 4 bases, it's taken him a little while to truly get set up. Gonna see that cancelled 4th. It's gonna rebuild up here. We actually have this base over here set up as well, so base is coming online nicely for SHIN. It does feel like he's in a fairly okay position. Didn't love the start for him, you know, obviously the commitment to the attack that didn't really do much, but Oliveira been able to really capitalize on the follow-up here. What does Oliveira have? +2 attack finishing now, so he's going to be pretty much equal upgrades. I mean, Ultras are about to hit the field from his opponent. These are big, tough units to break through. We have got first Marauders coming up, so we are going to have, I say first Marauders, we've got plenty of Marauders already out as well, so we've got a good army against Ultras for the first wave. This very well just come down to how the battles go, right? Because Oliveira's army clearly looks as though it can hold its own. He's building a 5th CC as well, so he's looking to very quickly move into that dream setup of a Terran. If you can get 5 bases, it becomes so tough for a Zerg to outmine you, and obviously outmine you in a way that, you know, yes, eventually you need base 6, but it's very tough for you to not get base 6, because you just make a very slow progress towards that. It doesn't have to be quick, you can take your time about it. You can do a lot in that regard. As we see, these Valiants unloading over here. They're going to go and try and grab this hatchery, which will go down, so hatchery will fall. It's a great grab, man. I mean, you're denying the 4th base once again. This is just going to keep adding up as these couple medevacs continue back over. A little bit more bio just begins to unload. We just have ourselves the Ultras are coming back up to the top, so they're going to lead this charge forward. Looks as though SHIN is going to try and move in. He did just lose a base, so this maybe becomes a little bit more desperate than it usually would be. Goes to sniping away. Fungal growth is decent, but mostly on Marauders, and then the Banes roll into those Marauders, so hard to really love that, but the Ultras have gone on top of the planetary. SCVs will begin to die. A couple more corrosive vials over here. Knock down the siege tank would be nice. Not going to happen. The planetary will hold its own. And the problem is retreating away against Ghost is never, ever really a good thing. That's almost always expensive. 7 SCVs get picked off. Really isn't that much either. And obviously SHIN has used his entire bank to start rebuilding on the back of this. I think this was good enough for Oliveira. It looked a little bit scary, yes, but I think he is going to get there. As our Vikings will clean out this Overseer. That will go down. The rest of these Lings, the Ravagers gathering up in the center. Ravagers move into the middle of the map. Our medevacs continue to go out down to the south, so away they go. Moving out across over here. As our 3-3 upgrades on the way in. Ghosts and a couple Widow Mines coming through. This Ling, Bane, Ravager, Ultra Force Gonna start up a bit of a fight forwards. Once again, gonna go jump onto a couple of different siege tanks. One tank goes down, another tank goes down. Widowmine's going off. Our ultras are here. Well, we are gonna dive our way in towards this mineral line. A bunch of SCVs will be going down. Ultra gets to the front. Marines will go down too. 17 SCVs being killed. Ultras are still chasing forward. The Widowmine goes off as well. Snipes all over the place. We'll turn and finish off this factory, which will now go down. Big fight from SHIN. The rebuild from Oliveira just wasn't there soon enough. And I mean, SHIN is not exactly in a great spot. If this fight didn't go his way, he's in a position here where his economy is really on the edge of not being good enough. But it looks as though he's getting the job done, especially if we wrap around these ghosts. We actually only end up killing one of them. So the Widowmines here we're going to set off as well. And again, just trying to keep the ultras healthy as we're going to continue to charge through. This tank will go down. We're going to try and break this base the second time now. We've got the Fungal. Going to land on a couple of the ghosts. Fungal on the SCVs might be decent as well. The ultras get to the ghosts too, which is obviously a pretty big deal. The planetary goes down. The SCVs are dropping. It looks as though SHIN has got the push through. He's got the damage done. He's going to find himself victory here on site Delta, and hence victory in this best of 3. Unless Oliveira can start coming up with a defense. Problem is, a defense right now probably means camping into your natural, which is viable. You know, you will not die. But what do you get out of it as we do snipe out one more ultra? Well, you have a chance, I suppose, and a chance is everything, considering, again, the economy of SHIN is not perfect, so there is maybe some opportunity there. Moments like this, though, can't happen. You need to not lose your units. You need to keep everything together and just consolidate for one final trade-out, which can maybe lead to your push across the map that could see you some success. So Orbital Command gets to re-land on this location. This base over here will begin to be a planetary fortress as well. Things coming through. The Ghost Academy, the refinery getting picked away at. Ultras in the bottom left, going to move around with the Ravager and the Lings. We've got ourselves some more units in the center here. And chill out for a moment, but that might just be a good thing for SHIN. Let his, continue to be stronger economy be, come into play in comparison to the worker losses that we just faced as Oliveira. That might be the route you take right now. That might be the best way to go about this, so don't hate that. I like that quite a lot. We're just going to chill out on the medevac. Camelling is going to come over. Ultras and Ravagers coming over as well. Let's see, Marine is going to come up in toward the main base. Again, we got ourselves 5 bases across the board. There's a lot of creep out into the center of the map as well as those Lings come over. Medevac will be forced to lift off and back away. So we'll do exactly that for the moment. We're just going to be seeing extra Lings out in the center. More Banes coming up, plus 3 melee arms on the way through. And we just have ourselves. The Ultra's going to grab a Marine as well for the moment. We know there's an Infestor here. It looks as though he's stimming ahead as though he had an idea. He's going to catch the ghosts. Great fungal growth. Great bait from the Infestor. Unfortunately, not going to get there to capitalize in the moment. We do get the medevacs to evacuate. Extra Banes still coming through. Every Marauders and Widowmine still coming about. We've got a Widowmine here that's going to blow up a couple Banes. And this Widowmine in the front gets a few Lings as well. SHIN is absolutely struggling to take a fight. Okay, this gets a little awkward because he just gifted a bunch of units away. Now Oliveira. I mean, look at the situation. He's rebuilt up to 4 bases and a good economy. 60 SCVs is fine. And yeah, SHIN, he's only just now really going to these extra bases, top and bottom. I mean, these are moments where Oliveira should have been in trouble, but because he takes one extra good fight, now SHIN is in a not necessarily trouble, but it's going to be tougher for him because Oliveira is back to an army that can really stand and contest, whereas before his army was not really able to stand and do much at all. Just going to dive the medevacs on the bottom, just going to lift back up. You have Libs, Marauders, and Ghosts still coming through. A couple extra Libs popping. Just going to lift up a CC to take it to a 5th base. Well, That's all well and good, but A, there's a Ling blocking it, and B, that's then going to be an orbital. That's going to be an easy target for run-bys, especially if SHIN focuses the main army to the left-hand side. Of course, a defensive Terran can be very tricky to break through, and I think that's what SHIN is going to now face, now that Oliveira is built up a little bit extra. One more Ling picked off. He's got Marauders firing away, but only going to find a Ling. Maybe they could have targeted that Herd Ultra. I was kind of lingering at the front of the army. Lib's coming up as well, and there's the scan. We clean this out. We go to this base number 5. Like I say, an easy target, it being an orbital command. But like to see some of these Lings at some, like definitely like this Ling Bane Force already. Get that running into this location while this army tries to draw a lot of the units elsewhere. And be consistent about it. Don't just do it once. Yeah, don't just do it once and then just be like, okay, this worked or didn't work, I'm done. I think do it again and again. As long as this is an orbital, this is a position you can really pressure into. The other thing about being an orbital, maybe you do just take the big fight here. No planetary fortress support, so maybe you just take the larger engagements. It's a little bit riskier in my eyes. You got this infestor needs to pop up and go for those ghosts, but yeah, just eats the EMP, and now you're going to have Snipe City all over these orders. There's one more infestor here, but now there's not enough units to capitalize on that, and again, SHIN is unable to take a fight against the Oliveira army as this game begins to turn on its hinges into something that looks as though Oliveira is somewhat in control of. There's a Fungal Grove landing on those ghosts. The Bane's actually going to find their way through. That Fungal was so good for SHIN. Holy crap, I mean, the Ultras just getting to chomp their way through this Bioforce now. Double kill on the Liberators again as you run through the last couple of libs, and we're going to aim for this base. Now this is just an unprotected orbital. Widowmine shots are good. Quite a lot of Lings, however, the SCVs will pay the price. Not Mineral Walked either, so they will go down. Stuck for a couple of moments. 15 workers dead. We're going to continue upwards. Got a couple more infestors coming about. In the end, Oliveira says G, and it just didn't quite work out. That one Fungal really found magic.